Today on Geek Devotions, we're talking about how we're doing backlog golf, how some people had a really important backlog, and what that means to us today. Hello and welcome to Geek Devotions, the show from Devoted Geeks who are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. I am Celeste, and we are so glad that you have hit play today. If somebody has sent you this video, you've randomly come across this on the internet, we want you to know, hey, you're loved. We love you. God loves you. And that's why we're here doing this video. So if you're weirded out by that, thank you for stopping. Don't forget to check us out on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as Discord and Twitch. We have all of the things, ladies and gentlemen. Also, if you would like to support what we do here, even for as little as $1 a month, you should check us out on Patreon. We work really hard to try and make sure that our Patreons get information before everybody else, that they know what's going on, that they, help us out, and it helps us create this great content. So as some of you know, we are running what is called Backlog Golf over on our Discord, and we're doing this for books. Now, just in case you were like I was a few years ago and you go, Celeste, what is Backlog Golf? Backlog Golf is where you take things that you have in your backlog, like movies, games, books, TV shows, whatnot, and for a set period of time, you go through all of them and you complete the games, you watch the movies, you watch the TV shows, you read all the books. So the one that we are doing is Book Backlog Golf. We are attempting to get through our backlog of books from September 15th to December 15th. And let me tell you, I have a lot. I have a lot of backlog. So as I was talking to Dallas about today's devotion, about what I was planning out, I was talking about doing something off backlog because we're doing backlog golf, we're reading all these books, and that has so many things that you can apply to your own spiritual life. He goes, well, you know that story where the people of Israel literally had the most important backlog ever? I was like, ooh, no, I don't. So in Nehemiah 6 through 8, we find that the people of Israel, who have been in exile, they've been in captivity in the Babylonian countries, haven't read the law in ages. And by ages, I mean an entire generation. An entire generation based their beliefs and their thoughts and their things that they did on something they'd never read. They didn't have a true understanding of the law because they'd never heard it, because they didn't have the ease that we do nowadays. You can have 15 bajillion Bibles. You can put it on your phone. You can have it on your Kindle. You can go to pretty much any library and there be a Bible. The people of Israel did not have this option. So in the three chapters that I suggested, you see that it's in the midst of Nehemiah having asked the king to go back to Israel and rebuild the wall. At the same time, Ezra has asked the king if he can go back and rebuild the temple. So these two projects are happening at the same time, which blew my mind. I didn't realize that happened at the same time, but it happened at the same time. And they were working together on these two different aspects. And when they finished the wall, and when they finished the temple, they gathered all the people together, and they had Ezra standing on a podium, essentially. That's not what it said, but that's basically what it was by the description. And then they had people who were part of the tribe of Levi in the midst of the crowd, and Ezra read the law while the people in the crowd explained to an entire generation what it meant. In Nehemiah 8:8, it says, they read from the book, from the law of God, clearly, and they gave the sense so that the people understood the reading. And then you see that an entire generation, an entire nation is weeping because now they understand. Now they get why their parents taught them to do what they do. Now they understand the reasoning behind the way they live. And they begin to repent because we both know that if you don't understand the reasoning, if you don't understand the mindset behind something, it becomes dead liturgy, and you may not even follow it that closely. So this week's devotion is really a challenge. It's really a challenge to you to go, is the Bible part of my backlog? Have I actively been participating in it? Have I actively been studying it and understanding it? Or have I been just kind of reading my verse of the day and going about my day? Have you really been intentionally seeking out what God has for you and what this faith means? Because the Bible is the basis of our faith. So if you're not studying it, then you are purposefully putting yourself in the position of the generation of Israel that didn't have an option. Okay guys, that was your devotion for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it challenged you, because it's challenging me. I'm thinking a lot about this devotion. So, probably will be for a while. So the question of the week. Question of the week is this: what is your biggest backlog? For me, clearly it's books, because I have about 50 on our dresser now that are my starter for this. And then that's just the ones that I sought out in like an hour. I was like, oh, I haven't read this, I haven't read this, and I haven't read this, and okay, we're stacking all these up. That doesn't also count the comics, because I didn't want to put them on the dresser because they're kind of frail. So yeah, I have a lot to do. Let us know down in the comments, what is the biggest thing that you have that you need to work through with in regards to your backlog. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and the website. We have new articles releasing all the time. Also, don't forget about Comm Talk. We have all kinds of things happening over in the podcast realms, and maybe even some things that are gonna be released soon for knowledge. So we'll see. Y'all have a good week. Stay devoted.
Peace and love.